with art classes for kids, and this one is a chalk pastel still life. It's inspired by the contemporary artist Laura Owens, and it's like a fruit bowl. It's pretty simple. It's got amazingly bright colors, and the composition is, where we've got a little bit of different types of fruit all over the place, and it's up on a pedestal like it's like this amazing fruit. And we are going to go ahead and do a chalk drawing today. Now, if you haven't used chalk pastels before, they're a little bit messy. So what you want to do is make sure you've got something to cover your clothes with, like an apron, and you want to make sure, or a t-shirt that you don't care if it gets dirty, and cover your table because the chalk dust gets kind of all over the place. Let me go through what we're going to need. And we've got this craft paper. Craft paper is kind of like the kind of paper they use to make cardboard out of. It's a brown natural paper, and the chalk pastels look really vibrant on top of them. We've pre-taped the edges so that you don't, kind of get everything off the edges on this one. Set that down. We've got our backing board, our cardboard backing, and we also have the 36 count pack of chalk pastels. So you've got lots of colors to use from, and we're going to use lots of colors. So you've got that. We've got our label, and we'll need a pencil, glue stick, tape, and cellophane. So go ahead and get everything you need to start this project. Be sure to pause the video here and gather your supplies if you haven't already. Then unpause when you're ready to begin. Hi, now that you've gathered all your supplies, let me show you how to prepare your paper for the art project. Now, you'll get a piece of paper, usually white, depends on the project. This project we have a white paper. Now, what we're going to do is learn how to tape off and mask off the edges so that it looks like it has a fake frame. It'll look really clean. Here's an example of one of the projects. This one here, we have all this color, and it's kind of a little mixy and a little bit messy, which I like because that's the style we're trying to recreate. But now the edges are nice and clean because we taped them off and then we peeled the tape and it looks like this. Now, how do we tape the edges? Well, I always use the blue painter's tape because it's a low tack, meaning it's not very sticky. And it's great to use, but it's a little more expensive and not as common as tan masking tape. You might have this as an alternative, and if you do, you can use this, but you have to barely press it down because it's a lot stickier and it's harder to get off of your paper. Now, I'm going to take this tape and I'm going to line it up with the edge. I start pretty close to the corner, as close as I can. And then I go all the way to the other edge like this. And then I lightly rub it down. What I want to do is either cut it from the corner like this carefully without cutting the paper, or I'll show you on my next demonstration how to rip the tape. Now, I'm going to the next side and I'm going to overlap the last piece of tape I put on there and line it up with the edge. Then I'm going all the way to the other edge like that, and I rub it down. Now what I do is I hold my pointer finger, my index finger, and my thumb together and squeeze them, and then I hold the tape really close to where my other thumb is, and I rip away. And all of a sudden, I get this perfect cut. It's not gonna work perfect maybe the first time. The more times you do it, the more you get that how to rip it. And also, it saves time later, but it takes a little practice to do that. Now here's something that goes wrong a lot of the time, is that maybe you put the tape down and it starts out really good, but when you get down to the other end, there's some white showing. Now, if this happens to you, just reposition it. Just peel it back off like this and position it, woo, by pressing down and lining it up and making sure that white doesn't show. You can even press it halfway down and just keep pressing it as you go and lightly rub it. If it gets a little wrinkle in it, don't worry, as long as it's pressed down. Now, if you're on a table, a white table and a white paper, if you have a matching tabletop as your paper, it's hard to see the edges. Just grab something that's a different color. Like I got a piece of cardboard. If I put that there, I can really see my white edge good. And lastly, when you put it down, oh, one more thing. This, if you have it the other way where the tape is hanging out like that, and it's not straight, and you can see it from the back, you gotta correct that too. Otherwise, all your borders won't be the same, all your margins. So you can easily pull that tape off again and reposition it. Next, this is our last side. So I start out like this, and I line it up. Now I can rip it, I can cut it, but what I don't wanna do is tear it way over here and wrap the tape around it. Because if you do that on all four sides, it takes a lot of time to pick this tape off when it's in the back. And it's hard, sometimes it's under the other piece of tape. It's just kind of a mess and it takes a lot more time. So I would advise don't wrap it around. And then what I wanna do is clean it up. I want my back to be without tape on it and my front to have 4 clean edges. And once I have that, I'm good to go and I'm ready to start making some cool art. Here we go. Now I'm going to put Laura Owens' picture off to the side so you can get an idea of what we're drawing. Now hers is not a chalk pastel. Hers is painting, and it's not that big of a painting, but it's bigger than this paper. She's a contemporary artist. She does so many different styles. She likes to try out all different styles in historical painting and sometimes blend the two. So she's got all kinds of things. She's got still life, she's got animals, she's got straight abstracts with layers of things going on. If you'd like to learn more about her art and you'd like to see more of her art, don't forget to Google her up and Google up images of her art, and you'll get a better idea of what kind of artist we're learning from. Now, we're going to take, and we're gonna do this all with chalk pastels. We're not even going to use a pencil. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to get a color, either a brown, or I like this color right here, this brownish color right here. It's kind of like a gray brown. And I'm going to compose the most important elements of my drawing right now. So I'm gonna go right in the middle and halfway between where I'm gonna mark the middle with a little mark. Go ahead and mark the middle. Halfway between the middle and the bottom, I'm going to make a line. Now that line is going to be the edge of the bowl. Now this isn't a square. We're not gonna make it exactly like hers. We're using her art as our inspiration to make our own bowl of fruit. So we're gonna make the widest smile curve we can right here. And then we're going to make an oval below as big as we can to fit between the blue tape and edge of the bowl. And make sure it's symmetrical, meaning that the right side and the left side are about the same size and it's centered because it's holding up this bowl. Now we're going to make a triangle right here, like that. Actually, like an upside down triangle or a V. And the V, we're gonna put a couple of smile curves on it and make some bumps to the sides. And that is the little pedestal that holds up the bowl. Alrighty, now this bowl is going to have all kinds of things in it, but we're gonna make an oval out of it. Really lightly, I'm drawing an oval, and all the fruit has to fit, set in this bowl. But then there are other things like leaves and branches of strawberries, all other kinds of berries hanging out. So we're gonna start with that. And let's see, in the background, we're gonna add some of this shading. it's brush strokes to her, and they're very simple. Now, her style in this painting is one of many styles she does. She was influenced by the artists that kept things really simple and used bright colors. One of those artists that she was inspired by, we have done many projects, you know, and used as an inspiration. That was Henri Matisse, the French Impressionist painter. And she liked how he had really bold strokes and really bright and bold colors. Now we're gonna add a little bit of shading to the background, so just make some scratch marks. We're going to be adding other colors and layering colors too. You can add some of this color to the background up here, however you want. And then we're going to draw a few of the elements that are inside our drawing. And those are going to be the different fruits. So we've got grapes, pears, apples, another pear. That looks like a pear too. We've got strawberries and all kinds of other berries. So I'm going to draw where the berries would go. So if I want my berries over here, and you don't have to have yours there, you can put them somewhere else. But the grapes, actually, they look like little berries. If you want to have those grapes hanging off, you need to have them go past the edge. So what you're going to do is put circles no bigger than like a fingernail, and you're going to group those and let them hang off. Just give them a place to be. Now you could have two sets of grapes. Maybe you want some grapes over here or something. I don't know. Now just to remind you, this is a pre-recorded video, and if I'm moving too fast at any time, I want you to push pause and then go at your own pace. And when you're ready to learn the next step, just push play and you'll be right with me. Okay, now I'm going to put a pear somewhere. So a pear is like a ball with a triangle on it, but I'm not going to put my pear straight up. It's kind of laying in a bowl. So I'm going to put it sideways. So I'm going to add my triangle on top of that, and now I round out the tip and curve this all together, and I've got a pear. See? I'm going to put a little stem on it. Now I want you to have at least 3 pears in this bowl. So figure out where you want them. I'm going to have one right here, little stem sticking out, and then I'll have one, I see one up in here, a little stem. You put yours wherever you want. Next, let's add a couple of apples. I want 2 or 3 apples. Here's how to make an apple. It's pretty simple. We're gonna sketch a guideline with our chalk and make like a circle. Decide where the stem's gonna be by putting a smile and a line coming out of it. And then the bottom narrows out a little and has 2 little bumps at the bottom. So I've got an apple in here, and I might put another apple, but it's hidden. Maybe I've got an apple right in here. It's kind of squared off where I see it. Then hang out. Oh, maybe I'll have one more apple over here. So I do the smile, and then the stem, and then I go around. Now see how I'm filling it up with big things. And now let's try the strawberries. So I see like a bunch of strawberries here. I see some here. I see some other berries here. So the strawberries, maybe I'm gonna put some strawberries here. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then at the bottom of each of those, I'm gonna make the shape of a heart. That one's going off my page, which is fine. And then I'll put some, I'll put some stuff on top, but I'm gonna save that for when I change colors. If you wanna have some more strawberries, these ones up here have like little curved branches. Let's make like 2 heart shapes here. And you see there's big strawberry leaves right here. There's a strawberry leaf, and there's a strawberry leaf. We're gonna add the rest with other colors. So go ahead and take a break from this brownish color. I want you to pick a color for each of your pears. In this painting, we've got a peach colored pear, or light pink. I've got a green pear, and I've got like a beige and yellow pear. So I'm going to take yellow. I'm going to make 1 pear yellow. So I'm going to fill it in with yellow, and I'm keeping it loose. And I'm adding a color to that because the pears aren't even color usually. So I'm adding some green. Oh, that green doesn't show up so much. Let's add some green. And a little bit of orange to the top. So I've got that nice and loose. Now I'm going to add orange to some white, let's see, and get like a peachier color. And you can keep it nice and loose. And you can go all the way out to the guidelines if you want. I'm gonna add a little pink to that one. This is my pinkish pear. And now I think I'll make my last pear green. So I've got green. Kind of looks like an avocado now. Green, and I'm going to add a little bit of this light blue to it. So I've got 3 pears colored in. Now, I'm starting to build up a little bit of chalk dust. And if you've drawn with me before, you know, I'm always warning you about the chalk dust. You don't want to blow it because it'll go up in the air. Once it goes up in the air, it can make you sneeze, it can get in your eyes, but mostly it could go up and land somewhere that you don't even know where it's landing, and it's usually the floor. Then you step on it, you don't even realize it, then you go walk through this house, and wherever you step, it leaves maybe some red chalk dust on your parents' white carpet, who knows? So you just gotta be careful. So what I do is I tap the chalk dust away from me, just above my artwork. Then it stays on the table and it goes down instead of up. Okay, so next what we're going to do are apple colors. So I'm picking some apple colors. I'm gonna do one apple red. I color the whole thing in, but I wanna have some highlights. So I'm going to use a little bit of orange towards the top. And my other apple, oh, maybe I'll make it this lighter red. With this kind of burgundy-ish color. I'm gonna make it a dark, kind of delicious apple, I guess. Maybe blend that in a little. We haven't done a lot of blending. This one doesn't require a lot of blending. And once again, I've got to tap the chalk dust, so tap it out. Alrighty, we've got our pears, we've got our apples colored. Now let's go for the grapes. So I like that they've got pink and purple grapes. Let me try that out. Pink and purple. So I'm just gonna start coloring them solid. Now, Laura Owens is doing styles that she likes, and I said she is influenced a little bit by, you know, Matisse. So Matisse didn't do a lot of blending. He had a lot of big, solid colored areas. She doesn't have a lot of blending either, or shading, so you can have solid colored grapes. And, ooh, maybe I'll do some of this purple. So you've got lots of colors to choose from in your box. Give them all a try. Okay, there we go. Now if I want to fill them in a little, just make sure they don't have a hole in the center. And I've got that good. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm gonna tap it out. Okay, we're off to a good start. Let's try a strawberry. Okay, so I'm gonna take the red. Do these strawberries. And then there was 3 over here. Now what makes it look like a strawberry is going to be the little green top. So I've got green here. So I've got those. And maybe I want a few more strawberries. Okay, I'm gonna put another strawberry here. This one's gonna be kind of flipped upside down. And let's put 2 of them over here. So just add on wherever you think you'd like to fit extra fruit. Oh, and I had a little grape area over here. So let me go with that darker purple.
I love purple.
Put some of these. These all look more like blueberries maybe, I don't know. But blueberries don't have very long stems. And I'll put a little blue with that. It's pretty easy to do. And now I need, let's see, what else could we have? We can have some more little berries. I'm gonna have some more little berries over here of blue.
Blue.
And what else? We see all kinds of things here. We see a lot of leaves. So let's get some leaves on here. Let's put some leaves in the middle. Any of these big oh, that's one of my apples. Let's make it a green apple with yellow, or with this color. A little shading out here. Okay, let's add some more leaves and stems. And we've got these big strawberry leaves over here. Strawberries have little scalloped leaves. That means they have like curves. Okay, so we've got that, and our basket's getting kind of filled. This thing here looks like a purple leaf. I'm gonna make a purple leaf. Right there, I see like a big leaf. It's got some blue in it. And let's just fill in with blue in some of these spots. So now we've got all of our fruit in here, but we're going to add some darker colors, and we're going to add the blues and purples to fill in our bowl. So I'm going to take this purple right here. It's like the light lavender, and I'm going to fill this in. And the pedestal part, and this bowl. So we've got that. Now we're going to add some blues. So grab these blue violets over here and start to go around and create a little bit more of the shade by adding shading. And we're gonna have a lot of blue right here. Let's add some blue scribbles in this background. Some up here. Maybe another leaf. Maybe this color of a leaf. Some of those little blue berries. I like this color. I'm gonna add some of this color over here. So we've got it pretty much done, but we don't have the contrast that's really gonna make the drawing pop. So I'm looking for my darkest color. It could be this navy blue. This is a good one. It looks like this. Okay, it looks almost like black. Grab that one, and then where you see some fruit touching the edge of something, go ahead and add some shading around it. I see this pear. I couldn't see the stem before because I kind of buried it. So now I'm going around it. There was my apple. Here's my other apple. So you can go around these things and shade in between. So now I'm getting these things to kind of come out, kind of pop out a little more. Here's my strawberries. Maybe I'm gonna outline those a little. My leaf. Maybe some dark spots between my grapes, or these blueberry shapes. Between these grapes, I'm gonna go and fill in little spots that are dark. And let's do a little something to these strawberry tops. And I never went around this pear. There's that strawberry top. And now I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight at the bottom. And I like how they did it with this light green. They just went, add a little highlight there. If you want to add some more highlights here, go ahead. And take one last look at your drawing. Tap it out and make sure the dust is off it. Now, is there anywhere else you'd like to add some color? Taking a really good look at it. Maybe I'm gonna add some dark purple over here to have a dark color that's different. Oh, around these little berries. I think we're looking pretty good. I think I'll add a little bit of this grayish brownish again up in here. And I'm kind of feeling like I've done plenty. I don't want to overdo it and then start to cover some of my drawing. So I'm going to stop here. Okay, we've got our drawing and I think it's ready to reveal. So I'm going to peel the tape off slowly and I'm keeping my fingers away from the chalk. So I get these little ringlets. I'm going to use those, or part of those, to stick my art onto my backing board. If I have any fingerprints that I want to get out, I can use my eraser. Okay, I'm going to peel this a little more. And the last side. And now I'm going to reveal how this turned out. And it looks like this.
Masterpiece.
So this is how mine turned out. I can't wait to see how yours turned out. And I would love it if you would take a photo, post it on Instagram, share it with the world, and tag it with Art Classes for Kids. Also, if you'd rather just send it to me privately, you can send it to my email address, kim@artclassesforkids.com. We want to do one last thing. We want to protect our chalk pastel because this stuff is smeary. Sometimes people use a fixative. Sometimes I don't use the fixative because it takes away some of the color. I don't use it until right before I put it in a really good frame. But what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna show you how to wrap this with cellophane. If your class will be framing their artwork, I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. If your class isn't framing your artwork, no worries. I'll just catch you on the next lesson. Now, what you're gonna need to frame the artwork are a few supplies. You're going to need a cardboard backing that matches the size of the artwork that you are going to mount. You are going to need a glue stick, tape, your label, and a piece of cellophane. It might be rolled up or it might be flat. And you're going to need something to mount the artwork. Well, before I get started on mounting, I'm going to make sure that I have my label, that maybe you've already written your name and date and maybe you haven't. If you haven't, get that name and date on there. It's really important to know when you made it because you might have this thing for years, for decades. Your parents might frame it and stick it in their home and they want to know, how old were you when you made that? And they can figure that out from the date. Or maybe you're gonna be really successful and it's gonna be worth millions of dollars one day, who knows. I put a little glue on the back of that. You don't need tons of glue, just enough to stick it down. And then you're going to put it on the back. How do you know? Are you gonna put it where the art's vertical or where it's horizontal? Well, you gotta decide by what kind of art you have. I have a vertical piece, so I need my label to read vertically. And there it is. I flip it over and now I'm going to make some tape loops. Well, this curly tape that I just took off, I can reuse because, you know, it's less trash in the earth. So what I do is I roll it the same direction and unroll, and I make a tape loop. And I just press it down. Then I make another one. That's messy, but it's still gonna work. No one's gonna see it as long as the sticky side is out. I don't want it to hang over the edges because then it might show. I only need 4 of these, and I also press them down. I don't keep them in the puffy loop shape. So I have this big ball of tape. I just pull off some of it somewhere and then roll it up, press it down. So now I've got my 4 pieces of tape. I'm going to lay this on top and I'm going to match up the corners so it's flush with the board. Whoop, it's not over there, so I adjust it. And I push it down, but I don't touch the art because I don't want it to smear. It might be oil pastel, it might be chalk pastel, it might be something else that's smeary. So now I'm ready to wrap with cellophane. So I take my cellophane and I open up the roll if it's not a flat piece, and I don't want it to keep rolling up. So I'm going to flip it over so it doesn't roll up. Then I lay it out and I center this, or if it's a lot bigger, I can see that I have even amounts on each side, but this side I got a big piece. So I can just trim that. Don't over trim it, make sure it can fold over to the back. And now just remove that. And I'm going to start on one side. I'm going to fold over. It's kind of like wrapping a gift. And I need my tape handy. I might have a little tape that doesn't have a weight on it, and then I'm just keeping it really close to me. But what I'm doing is I'm going to rip it and whip it on the tape. I'm gonna rub that down. I go to the opposite side that I just taped. That's across from it. And I put my second piece of tape. Then I do the 2 sides. I fold it over, put 1 piece of tape there, go to the opposite side, right over here. Fold it over, get my tape on it. Now I do each of the corners. What I want to do is tuck in the cellophane so it doesn't show from the front. How I do that is I pinch this together, makes a little triangle, and then I fold this a few times and roll it down. And I can use 1 piece of tape, or if I need 2, I can always use 2. Then I turn this and I do the next corner. And I turn it again, and remember I pinch it, I fold it, I roll it until it's flat. Make my tape go across, and the last corner, I pinch it together, I fold it, I roll it, and I press down. And I check it out. It looks like it's nice and tight. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Oh, nice and tight. Now I can rub my hand on top of it and it doesn't smear. Ta-da! And this is how it turned out. So this is going to protect it. It makes a great presentation, and it makes me feel like my artwork is amazing. And also, your artwork is amazing. Everyone's is going to look different. No one's gonna look exactly like mine, but it doesn't need to. I just want you to have fun making cool art, learning about new artists, and building some skills while I teach you a few new techniques. I hope you're having fun making cool art, and we'll see you at the next lesson.